Hey, how's it going? Today we are going to be continuing with Class Hall A. The next class on our list is Ranger. So let's get started. To get Ranger class, you are going to need to have rank 10 in the Sand Sea reputation. Or alternately you can buy it for 2k adventure coins, but I don't recommend that option. It is quite easy to farm Sand Sea rep, compared to how it was 10 years ago. For your enhancements, I would use either Dauntless or Valiance for your weapon. Luck for the class. Vim or Anima for the helm. Vim grants a bit more survivability, allowing you to dodge more. This works in tandem with the mana regeneration model of Ranger class. Anima, on the other hand, grants you a bit more damage at the cost of lowering your evasion a little, so choose what best suits you. For capes, use either Avarice or Vainglory. If you do not have Forge enhancements, then use Full Luck. Ranger has 2 rank 4 passives and no rank 10 passive. The first rank 4 passive is an increase to dodge by 15% and an increase to haste by 7%. The second passive is an increase to crit chance by 15%. Ranger's auto attack is called Rapid Fire. It hits 2 targets in long range, dealing 75% weapon damage on a 1.5 second cooldown. The second skill is called Mark for Death. This is the core skill of the class. It targets 2 enemies, and applies Death Mark to your enemies. This increases the damage they take by 5%. Stacks up to 6 times. The second effect is Marks, which is applied to you. This basically boosts your other skills. Stacks up to 6 times. Both auras last for 10 seconds. The third skill is called Scorching Arrow. It attacks 2 enemies and applies Scorching Arrow onto them. This is a damage over time effect, which is boosted by the numbers of mark stacks you have. Using this ability does not consume your stacks. Lasts 10 seconds. Your fourth skill is called Explosive Bolt. It hits 2 enemies and deals high damage to the primary target, while dealing light damage to the secondary target. The damage is increased based on how many stacks of marks you have. Using this skill will consume your stacks. Your fifth skill is called Vampiric Shot. It deals damage to 2 enemies and gives you a heal over time. The heal over time is increased based on how many stacks of marks you have. It does not consume your stacks. If you end up using Dauntless, this skill is basically useless. I would use this class for farming. Although it can only target 2 enemies, it still has a quick time to kill aspect, mainly when fighting enemies with low health. Just for comparison, here's me using Valiance. Always keep your stacks up from your second skill, and mainly use your third and fifth skill before using your fourth skill, as your stacks will be consumed. Now here's me using Dauntless. I would just recommend to keep spamming your second skill and use your fourth skill once you have enough stacks. You can use your third skill if you want to, but it won't really do that much as your fourth skill is better. While it is a farming class, I do not recommend using it with mobs that have higher health. Stick to enemies with lower health. Just don't even bother. Ranger can solo bosses that hit for less damage. It is a decent soloer, especially if you have the right Forge enhancements equipped. However, since this is primarily a farming class, I do not recommend it for soloing, especially if the boss has high HP. For supporting, all this class can do is increase the damage the enemy takes by 30%, fully stacked, as well as give a damage over time effect to the target. So, don't use it for supporting. Overall, Ranger is a nice farming class to have. It is relatively easy to get nowadays and can help in clearing low-level farming quests. Although it only targets 2 enemies, its time to kill for low health monsters is pretty good. Also, due to the Mark's aura being applied to yourself, allows you to keep fighting without losing your stacks. And even if you did, the short cooldown of the second skill will allow you to get it fully stacked in no time. I do not recommend this class for farming high HP monsters, or those that deal high damage. I also do not recommend using this class for soloing or supporting. Anyway, that is all from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.